Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, we got some new music today. This music was produced by my good friend Jeff Perry, and I encourage you to check out his music. He has a couple good things up on Amazon and on iTunes. He's doing great work. It's great music, very uplifting. God of My Soul is my personal favorite of his, but all the music is really good. It's really well done. He does great work. I encourage you to check it out. Well, today we're going to be reading Matthew chapter 4, verses 13 through 16, which say, He left Nazareth and made his home in Capernaum by the sea in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali, so that what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, on the road by the sea across the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light, and for those who sat in the region and the shadow of death, light has dawned. As we've discussed several times during the course in Matthew's Gospel, Matthew originally wrote his Gospel to the Jews to prove that Jesus was the Messiah. He does something very important here. This is one of 50 direct quotations linking Jesus with the Old Testament. And here he is linking him with Isaiah chapter 9, verses 1 through 2. He does this very intentionally, and that passage from Isaiah is laid out in such a way that is very specific. And those specifics have only been fulfilled by one person, Jesus. That's it. It was laid out in such a way where only Jesus was able to fulfill it, and he did, and Matthew shows us that. We see this term in verse 15, which is part of that Isaiah prophecy. It says, the Galilee of the Gentiles. This fulfills Isaiah 9:2, and also shows that the commission that Jesus gives in Matthew 28:19 to go to the Gentiles is not an afterthought. The ultimate goal of God's redemption has always included the nations. And we see this foreshadowed when the wise men, or the Magi, who were Gentiles, come to Jesus to worship him. It wasn't the high priest. It wasn't the Jewish leaders. It was Gentiles from Persia coming to worship Jesus. They saw a great light. Remember the star? The light that led them to where Jesus was? Light has dawned for the Gentiles. That is Jesus. And he had to go through these certain territories. He had to go. He had to go to Naphtali and the land of Zebulun by Galilee. It was on the northern shore of Galilee where this happened. Very specific prophecy here, and it was fulfilled in Jesus. Very, very specific. So again, today we see another link that Matthew gives us between the Old and the New Testaments, also showing us today that they go together, that the Old and New Testaments point to Jesus. I think we have a tendency to just read the New Testament and ignore the Old. The truth is, there's so much wisdom in the Old Testament that is made light of, not making fun of, but made light of in the New. And we're doing ourselves a disservice if we ignore the Old Testament. So I encourage you, whenever you're doing your Bible reading, definitely read from the New Testament. Take a passage from the Old. Study it. Reflect on it. I think it'll benefit you, benefit all of us in a great way. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Daily Bible Podcast. Have a great day. God bless you.